So if you're watching this video, then you most likely received your awakening through narcissistic abuse. If not via narcissistic abuse, then it could be something like a near-death experience or something like severe grief. If you are watching this video, then you most likely went through what we could call a traumatic event. And this traumatic event served as your initiation because it provided the immense pressure needed to push you into ascension, to push you to reconnect with your spirit. When it comes to awakenings for me, then the awakening via narcissistic abuse was one of the major ones, but I have had multiple little awakenings over time. So I could always tell that some people were a little bit off, but I did not necessarily have the language to describe it. And for a really good while, I would describe people as species because they weren't really human-like, if that makes sense. So we're all people, but there are some different species to these human beings. And this was confirmed when I saw an entity manifest from the people that you may call narcopaths. It's the people that border on narcissism and what clinicians are calling antisocial personality disorder, or what you may commonly call sociopathy or psychopathy. So a narcopath is a narcissistic sociopath or a sociopathic narcissist. At the end of the narcissistic entanglement that I was in, and I stay away from really calling these relationships because you really are in a relationship of one. However, at the end, and this is normally when they like to show themselves. So some people see the black eyes that look like this thing here. Other people will tell you that they've seen the reptilian eyes, like this one. For me, what I encountered was the entity itself. So it manifested itself as an inhumanly tall male entity. And when this entity manifested itself, spirit, or what you may call intuition or your gut instinct, told me that Satan himself was looking at me. And it was the most inhumane, palpable, dark, mean, negative, hateful energy that you could imagine. It was inhuman because, again, it was an inhumanly tall entity. And after this entity popped up, then it jumped back inside of the person. And I could tell that the entity was what I was interacting with from day zero. So what I talk about here on the channel is my experience. And when I say that the entity went back inside of her, well, it went back into her to control her. I could tell that she was not listening to her right mind. She was listening to the evil spirit. So if you think about this like the proverbial devil or angel on one's shoulder, then she was in direct communication with this entity. This entity was the thing that is controlling her. Additionally, I could tell that she was a lost soul. And her age was about the age of 5 years old. And if you're wondering then how I could tell all of this, is it's kind of hard to describe knowing or what you may call clear cognizant, but you can tell. It's like you feel what it is or what it is not. So when I say that narcissists are lost souls, that is exactly who they are. I was introduced to the term narcissism, I want to say maybe 2 years ago. However, before that, I had a pretty good grasp on what consciousness was. And consciousness essentially is understanding that you're a spirit in a human body, or a spirit operating a human body with access to different tools, which are your mind power, your willpower, and your emotions. And when I encountered this entity, I knew that it was an evil spirit. And I know that the person, the human, did not have control of their mind, and they haven't had control of their mind for a long time. And additionally, They themselves did not have an energy signature. They felt like a void. So, like if somebody comes around, you should feel their energy. She did not have an energy. So you're dealing with lost souls, or I may call this people that are in another dimension.